Hi everyone. So today we are going to look at how to find the missing side of a right triangle using trig ratios. So the first thing we need to do is find the angle that we do know, which in this case is this 39-degree angle. We never use the right angle, okay? Why don't we use the right angle? Because then the opposite side and the hypotenuse side would be the same side. So we only use one of the other two angles. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have found the angle that we're using, 39 degrees, and we need to see which of these three ratios using SOHCAHTOA, are we going to use sine, are we going to use cosine, or are we going to use tangent? So what do we have with our sides? We have the side opposite, okay, and we have the side right next to it, adjacent. We do not know the hypotenuse. So opposite and adjacent means we're going to use tangent as our trig ratio. So that's what we just did here. We selected the appropriate trig ratio. We're going to use tangent. So now we're going to set up an equation using that ratio. So tangent, and then you put the angle that you know, in this case 39 degrees. Tangent of 39 degrees equals, and then write the ratio of that. It's opposite over adjacent. So opposite is x over adjacent, which is 15. Okay, so in order to solve this equation, to find the length of this side, x, we either need to multiply or divide. Okay, we're going to do cross multiplication, kind of like you've heard it called the butterfly method before. We put a 1 underneath it. 1 times x is x. So we are multiplying in this case, not dividing. And we need to multiply these two together, 15 times tangent of 39 degrees. So you can use your cell phone calculator, or at least for my students, I had them download the Desmos Scientific Calculator. So if you pull that calculator out, all you need to do is type in 15 times tangent and then put in 39 degrees. Okay. And we get 12.1. We're going to round to the 10th place. 12.1. So from there, after the multiplication, all you had to do was type it into your calculator to get the final answer. Now this one wasn't too bad because it was multiplication, but let's see what it looks like with division. Okay. Here we are. So once again, we need to find out which ratio we're going to use. So once again, highlight the angle that you know, 20 degrees. We know the side opposite the 20-degree angle. And we also know this side, which is the hypotenuse. Okay, so opposite over hypotenuse, that means we're using sine. So let's write our equation. Sine of whatever your angle is, in this case 20 degrees, equals opposite, which is 36, over hypotenuse, which is c. We do not know the hypotenuse at the moment. So in this case, I showed my students a little trick that might be helpful when it is a division rather than a multiplication. Instead of doing cross multiplying, what you can do is just have these two switch places. C equals 36 divided by sine of 20 degrees. And then you would just type that into your calculator and it will tell you what C is. So I'm going to go to my Desmos calculator. Okay, for those of y'all that would like to see what it looks like, give me one moment. Okay, so here's the Desmos Scientific Calculator, and we are typing in 36 divided by, and it was sine of 20 degrees. Close those parentheses, and you can see the answer over here to give you the length of the hypotenuse, which is 105.3, because the 5 will round it up. So C equals 105, sorry, I think that was 103, 105.3, and there is a unit here, so let's use the unit if we have it, yards. Okay, So there is the length of that side. So sometimes, just like the first problem, you're going to be multiplying, but unlike that one, in this one, we are actually dividing. And you can use that scientific calculator in Desmos to help you. But a lot of you do have your cell phones. If you turn your calculator sideways, you should be able to get sine, cosine, and tangent as well. If you have any questions about how to find the missing side of a right triangle using trig ratios, make sure to put your questions in the comments.